Hi, my friends. Okay, two new things to show you. Really excited about one of them. Okay. And one of them's this. And I'm going to need it. I'm going to need it. I'll show you what that's for in a bit. No, I won't. I'll tell you now. I've got myself a Lanshan Pro one. And it's there. 800 grams of pure, fantastic tent. Pegs. I always keep a number of pegs in my bag, not just the ones that come with that, because you never know when you might need them. So let's shift this. Let's move that there. And let's have a look at this here tent. Now then, you've probably seen no end of these online, but you haven't seen the video that I'm going to make on it. There's a few things about this tent that I don't like, but many that I do. Okay, so I'll explain as I'm going along. I've always wanted one of these because since I've lost 2 stone in weight, I've been doing a lot more walking and backpacking. Okay, so I want to keep the weight down. Nothing to it, absolutely nothing to it. I want to keep the weight down, and so a one-man tent is all I need, because I'm only one man, and I'm half the man that I was because I've lost weight. So yeah, so I'm going to put them pegs down there. I'm going to put that bag down there, and let's show you why I've got it. For a start, let's move that across here. I've got a footprint. Okay, now let me see which way this goes. It goes like that. So let me just put, I hope you can see me okay, guys. I hope you can. So I'm going to put that in there loose. Okay, I'm going to put this in here loose. I'm going to put another one in here. I find that it's always best to put them in loose to start with these type of tents. Okay, so let's have another one in there. So you can probably see the shape, and it's got a bit of a kink in it at the back, just here. Let me hold it up, can you see that? And that has been a game changer for me. Some aeroplanes going over. Bandits at 4 o'clock. Okay, now then, the actual size at the base of this tent, I believe, correct me if I'm wrong in the comments, 80 at that end, 1 meter 20 there, and 80 there. And if I'd thought to bring a tape measure, we could have done it, couldn't we? So let's get the tent up using that as a guide. Now then, this is a 4-person. Oh, you're joking. I don't know you'd get in there with 4 people. It's a 4-season tent because it's got a solid door. So, and I've done some modifications that I want to show you in a bit. Okay, so what we're actually doing at the moment is pegging it out loosely. I know they're in the wrong position. I've done a modification on this back end. Okay, my little loops just come out. So let me just go like, sorry about this. I've got to put that through there first of all. It's not a loop I need. I've got to put that through that little loop. You don't need to know this bit, guys. You don't need to know this. That goes over here. So, now then, let's have a look. What we're going to do now is on this one, we're going to put it across like that, and then this is your tensioner. So we're going to slacken that off, and I love these. You've got these on the Lanshans. I think you've got them on Naturite tents as well. I need to check to make sure my microphone is still going. And it is. Yes, it is. Thank you very much. Sorry about the shadow. Ding 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 ding. The shadows. Okay, it's looking good. I'm making it look as easy as I can. Okay, so what we've got now, two modifications on the back that I'll show you in a bit. I've got one more here, I think. Where are you? You beauty. That goes on there. Oh, no, not that one. That one. Thank you very much. And that goes on there. I might need a separate for this, but I want to show you something first of all. Okay, so that's good. This is a one pole tent. Some say, oh, I can't stand them walking pole tents, but this has got far more advantages to a walking stick or a walking pole than any tent can have. And I'll tell you for why in a minute. It's all to do with what height you set this. In 4 seasons, summertime, and you've got your autumns and your winters and springs, and I would set this in the wintertime to 125, which brings all the edges nearly touching the ground. In the summer, I would set it to 135, and that's what we're doing right now. Okay, now what I'm going to do is put this pole in this really, really strong cap at the top. You see that? It's brilliant. So I'm going to put that in there, and I'm going to do this. Now in the summer, you set it to 135, as I say. I'm going to put it, there's a little rubber elastic thing there. I'm going to put it round twice. Okay? Now this can be set at different heights at the front. Okay? Most of the time in the summer, I would have that pole in there set at an angle going back. It brings the front up more to let more air in. In the winter, I would have it standing more upright or even just a little bit to the front. Okay, so I'm going to do that, and I'm going to put one of these in. This bit I don't like. Okay, and I'll show you another modification I'm going to do one day. Okay, so I'm only going to put one in there because I'll tell you for why. The other day when I tried it out, there was a lot of condensation all on the inside, and I had to reach underneath and pull this off to unzip it. I think when there's no wind, one will suffice. But I think I've got another mod in my head to sort that out. Okay, so that's more or less it up to now. I want to just have a peep in here, because by altering whether it leans back the stick or whether it leans forward determines on what time of year it is. That I think is about right. I'll show you in a bit. There's a nice stiff piece of flat plastic in here, and that'll stop that blowing about in the wind. Let's undo these and stick you a guy. This is fairly solid already, and it's not even tight. In the summer, no wind, you could leave it as it is. What I'm going to do, guys, and I do hope you can still see, please say you can see. What I'm going to do anyway is pan back in a bit. I'm going to put that in there like that. Okay, and then what I'm going to do is alter these. Remember, we started off slack. So, this, by the look of it, oh, the ground's nice and dry at the minute. Great. I'm going to put that in there. I'm just going to give that a little bit of a tug. See that tensioner? Brilliant they are. That's a nice height. Okay, that's about 4 inches. This one don't look too bad at the minute, but I'm still going to give that a bit. And I'll show you this modification in a bit. Okay, as promised. You can't see the back, but I will show you in a bit as well. So let's have a look at this. We're going to pull that a little bit tighter. I'm going to use a separate peg for this. Okay, and I'm also going to put the guy rope up so we can show you how it works. I might add a little shot to it where I had it in 20, I think it was 15 or 20 mile an hour winds the other day, and it was good. I like these guy ropes here, guys. Guy ropes, guys, to be fairly long if we've got the room and we're not in woods, that is. Right, this one is a little bit too tight, so I'm going to put it there, and I'm going to tighten that up like that. This has got to come round a bit, methinks. Just a bit. Tighten that up. Tighten this up. And that's looking good. Okay, so when I put it up, I shall bring you in closer to show you some of the mods. Show you exactly what we've been doing round the back. Come on, baby. You know, I tied them up properly so we didn't get them in a knot, and guess what? It's in a knot. Not a knot. I love these, which, if I remember, I will show you that as well. These line locks. Line locks. That's gorgeous. This ground is fantastic. Oh, by the way, guys, if you ever wanted to come camping here for nothing, unless you need electric, ask me nicely, and you can do that. We've got a portaloo in a wooden shed that I've built special for the job. We've got fresh water. We've got somewhere to chuck waste that is nasty. Okay, down the sewers. If you need electricity to charge your equipment up, cameras, phones, we can do that, but because the electric has gone through the roof, you would have to pay a little bit towards that. Let me check my video again, guys. My microphone, see if it's working. And by the look of it, it's still working. That's good. Right, that is not quite doing. That means square. So that would come round there because of my OCD. Okay, and that's good. If I wanted this closer to the ground now, what I would do is put a peg in there. Okay, put another loop in there and put it down just a bit there. What I'd do also, if I wanted this, say the wind started to pick up, I would slacken the back off, okay, and I would tension this up to bring this down. That makes sense? And the same around the back. And now I'm going to take you off the sand. That is solid. I'm going to show you around. Okay. Let's stop the video. Right, I've got shadows all over the place. So very unprofessional. But we should be all right with this, guys. I'm going to show you around it. There's my osprey. Just lying there. Now this is the originals. I'm going to show you a couple of mods I've done. Okay, this is the originals. Let's see if I can show you this. Okay, these line locks, as I call them, are brilliant. You put that over the peg, okay, and then you tension them up, just like that. That's the original way of doing it. So you've got one line for the footprint, one line to pull out the base of the tent, the ground sheet, and then you got one to tension up the tent itself. Okay, these line locks here, I absolutely love them. See if we can get you in focus. They are brilliant. But what I've done, instead of that front one there, okay, instead of that, I have put one black. This is off of one tigress. I don't know whether you could see it properly. Okay, so all I have to do now, this tensions up both. So yank on that, and it pulls that piece, if you can see it, and this piece all taut. We've got about 4 inches all the way around. That's the way I would have it in the summer. If it was in the winter, and this is the great thing about pole tents, you shorten the pole. You can't do that on any other tent. Okay, and bring the whole tent closer to the ground to stop snow and so forth blowing in the back. There's one thing that you have to do when you get a tent like this as well. From China, I don't know why, I think they said because of the glues and importing it into England or America or the rest of the world, they can't seam seal it, so you've got to do it yourself. And I've done that, and because I did it in that wind I told you about the other day, see this, that one's tidying up to make it look a lot better on the back. Okay, so does that, but I shall leave that for a bit. This gives you a bit more head height. Okay, you have to seam seal all of this, because that, if it leaks, will go straight into where you're sleeping. Same with this seal, same with the cap. Oops, same with the cap. Now the great thing about pole tents as well is, if you're in the woods, you can actually tie a line onto that, chuck it over a tree branch and use that so you don't have a pole. Now the good thing about the door inside is this. Let me just send to you guys. You might get a headache. Whoop. Okay, now the good thing about the door on the inside is this. Let me show you. Oh dear, so we'll unzip that. YKKKK zips. We'll take that off there. This is fantastic. Okay, you've got, now then, I won't be able to put you down, so this is going to be flapping about all over the place. We've only got one door. This can be pulled out a little bit to give a bit more tension on the inside. Like I said, it's going to be flapping about. I thought this was a challenge, but I don't think it is now. I wish that that door went all the way across. I wish it did. But on saying that, with it only being an half door, this pole is not in the way. You understand what I mean? It's not in the way. because I can't use that section of the door. So I'm looking at it different now. Right, I'm going to try and open this zip with one smooth. Wow, it worked. And get this out of the way. And this is what you've got on the inside. Now that elastic here, that one's pushing right down. And I'd do that if I'd got two hands. And this is what we've got on the inside, look. 80 across there, 120 in the centre, and that is sim sealed, by the way, this. Straight across there, and 80 at the bottom end. The air mats that I use are 60 wide, which leaves me a lot of room down there. Now you saw my Osprey, and if I wanted more room inside, which I don't need, because I'm on my own, I would put my Osprey in this vestibule, and I would cook on this side. But I tried this out the other night to see what it was like with condensation. And I put my Osprey, because it's empty. I mean, if you take too much stuff with you, you're still going to have a full bag. But if you take the correct amount for the night, with just a little bit over, like spare clothes and stuff, and a bit more food in case something drastic happens, then my Osprey lies flat at the foot end, because I tend to put my head this end. And down that side then, I've got all my bins. Now you can see the vent system, it's all the way around, look, throughout with condensation. But that's only part of the story. So let's talk about condensation. Right, this is a single skin. Okay, does it get more condensation than a double skin? No, it doesn't. But it acts differently. I woke up and it was condensated all the way up because we had a really cold night. Okay, it was cold out, warmish in, which creates more condensation. So what I had to do is use a sponge to wipe it down. I was lying on my back, I had the sponge to the right. I wiped it down where I was going to sit up, but there's plenty of height in here, 135, great. Okay, and then wrung it out outside. And if it were raining, I would use that same sponge on the outside before I put it away and set off to my next destination. But with a double skin tent, what tends to happen is, excuse me, what tends to happen with a double skin is the condensation, when it's flapping about, falls onto the inner, disperses across that inner material, and then dries out. Okay, it can't do that with a single skin. The advantages of a single skin is weight. Now I like using a tarp, but the disadvantages with a tarp is, how do you keep the midges out? So what we have is this. This has got a door, a solid door, and that is for winter. If it was mesh, like the top just here, okay, if it was mesh, can you see that? Just about. Okay, and then it goes on to the solid. If it was mesh all the way down, it would be a 3-season, summer and 3-season. But with it being a solid door to stop the wind coming into your face, it is a 4-season. That's how they class it. And as I say, shorten the pole, get that pole at the right angle. Let's see if I can show you now what sort of angle that's at the minute. You see that angle? Up. Let me just pull my skirt over. Okay, see that? Okay, just slightly leaning back a bit. I've got plenty at the front, plenty of height to let some air in. That's a configuration I would use in summer. Most definitely. I would use that in the summer. But as I say, in the winter, I would shorten the pole and bring that down to the ground to stop wind, snow, whatever. And I would give it a really good go in the winter. I think it's going to be fairly good in the wind. I've tried it in that 15 to 20 mile an hour the other day, and I had it this end. Oh, that's a bit better. Oh, I'm in the shade. It's so warm today, guys. I had this end into the wind, and I don't know which would be the best. This corner into the wind, prevailing wind, or the back into the wind, or an end. Give us some comments in the box below. I'd love to hear from you. Okay, modifications I've shown you. I've shown you what I did on the back end because you couldn't see me when I was putting it up. We can see right now that that front end is right up. I think I would have, if I was making this tent, I would add another 6 inches. I would ask, yeah, I think I would. But no tent that we buy, because we didn't design it, no tent is exactly how we would want it. Okay, if we designed it, it'd possibly be no good to anybody else but us, because they would redesign it. I'll tell you what, if I could afford it, guys, I'd have my own design. But this is a fantastic tent. I'll show you a picture in a minute with it with a light on the inside. It is fairly see-through, actually. You put your hand behind that, you'd see your hand. So I've got to be careful. No nude getting undressed, ready for bed in this, especially when you've got mates who'll take the mickey. I'm just going to send to you again, guys. And that is just to say, what a beautiful day this is. Okay, one Lanshan Pro 4-season tent. In my opinion, it's all seasons because of that one single pole. You can get a pole pre-made, but then it's set at a height that you cannot alter. What would you do? Drive it into the ground? I like it like this, and then I can raise it up for the summer and down for the winter. Thanks for listening, guys, and bye for now.